right, guys? We're back here with another episode of Mike Papp's Golf Chat Live. Tonight is going to be episode number 5. Coming to you from the airport. I think Mathias is in his home. And we're coming on to you. It's Wednesday, end of July. And I have a special guest that we're bringing on today, Mathias Gronberg, professional golfer. I remember growing up, actually, like watching you on TV. I'm rooting for you, man. When I was coming up in the game. So honored to have you on today, and look forward to the interview.
Thank you so much, Evan, to have me on the show here today. I'm looking forward to it, and hopefully give some great value to the listeners.
Awesome as well. So, same thing with any, it could be an entrepreneur, it could be a golf professional, it could be an instructor of the game. It's always really cool to figure out the origin story, of that person, what got them to hit that success. So how did you get started off? Take us way back to the beginning, maybe when you were maybe a young boy. How did you get started in the game of golf?
Yeah, we'll start with this. I'm born 1970. 1980, when I was 10 years old, I'm looking through the basement at home, and I'm finding these clubs, and I'm looking back to my mother and asking her, "What's this?" And she says, "It's golf clubs." And I said, "Is that a sport with a ball in it?" Because I was obsessed with balls at a young age.
Yeah.
And I picked up the clubs, and we drove over to a golf driving range. And the first day I'm hitting golf balls, I was asked to join the golf club as a member. And luckily, my mom said yes. Wow. So that was my start in golf. I was 10 years old.
Wow, that's awesome. Yeah, I remember too. Even when I was starting out in the game, golf was my favorite sport, obviously. So I remember going to the range for the first time and literally just getting hooked. Did you have that same feeling too when you went there? You're like, "This is kind of fun. It's kind of cool, right?"
Yeah, I was hooked. I was quite good very early on. 3 months into my golfing experience, I was already top 10 in my age group in Sweden. So it was a good start, and I enjoyed watching the ball fly. I've loved golf ever since then. It's 39 years now, and I still love it. Every day that I do it, it's a challenge sometimes when you're not playing the way you want to do, but I've loved the game.
Yeah. No, I couldn't agree more. I couldn't agree more. It's I'm totally addicted as well. So I cannot agree more. So I guess getting started. Obviously, we had that. You're starting off. You get taken to the driving range. We start getting better and better and better. At what age or at what point did you decide internally, you know what, I'm going to go all in with this? I think I'm going to make a career out of this. What happened during that time frame?
I was basically 17 years old when I took that decision. I was early on good, but at 15 years of age, I got accepted to a 3-year golf economics school in Sweden. Special, where they took in 8 students each year to study golf and play golf combined with school. And in my 3rd year there, I was part of the Swedish national boys team and did very, very well. I was winning tournaments and stuff. And I kind of set that up as a goal when I was 17 to become a professional. I was fortunate. I kept on playing in the Swedish national team and had the pleasure of winning the Eisenhower Team Trophy and the British Youth at age 19. And directly after the Eisenhower Team Trophy in December 1990, I turned professional.
Nice. So for you kind of knew early on. You were just having this rapid growth. It's getting better and better. When you had that rapid growth? Because there's not that many years from getting started to
it took 10 years though.
Yeah, right. But 10 years to get to that level is pretty that's a huge accomplishment. So like, was there a certain teacher that was influencing you? Were you self-taught? How did you actually? Did you have a mentor when you were younger? How that all began?
I was fortunate. The first golf club I joined, Dale Golf Club, had Johnny Anderson, a very, very reputable golf teacher. I had some lessons with him in group settings and a little bit of individual lessons. But as I progressed with the Swedish boys team, the national boys team, and the men's team, I had some really good teachers over the years, and I've been very fortunate. I've hired the best teachers in the game as my teachers, all the way to the more famous ones like Butch Harmon and stuff like that. So I've been very fortunate to have worked with some really good teachers over the years. But early on, yeah, I worked with some teachers, but I was more assigned them than actually saying I didn't pay for them. There was someone else who paid for them and stuff like that.
Right. So, like, once you kind of got into that school, you were everything was molded in for you to keep progressing, right?
Yes.
Awesome. No, that's really cool. So we're at the point now where we're progressing on, we're winning tournaments, we're moving to the next step. What was it like, when we actually are like on the tour? What was the first tour that you joined, and kind of like maybe walk us through like the early years? Were there any big high moments? Were there any struggles? Like how did that end up developing?
I must say I had a very, very fortunate way into professional golf. Early on, I had success. I turned pro. The first year in 1991, I played on the Swedish Golf Tour, which had 14 golf events. I finished second in the order of merit, and I won a couple of events and won a skins game. I just had a really good, easy start. And then in 91 and 92 and 93, for 3 years, I played on the Challenge Tour in Europe, and combining with a few events on the European Tour. But I kind of had a very easy way in, but unfortunately at the Q schools to get on the main European Tour, I failed twice, 91 and 92, to go through.
Yeah. So I guess on that thought, I have I got a question out of the blue on that. So you said, 91, 92, you went to Q school, it didn't get through, like so many professionals, it's very hard to get through the Q school. Now, we all know that there's been changes like recently to like with Q schools and with PGA Tour and all that kind of stuff, European Tour as well. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that the Q school qualifying was better the way it was maybe back then? Or do you think that the new changes you think are more
before much better?
Before much better? Okay. Why is that?
I might have still been on tour right now as we speak if they would have had the old Q school. I'm not going to go through Q school for Web.com tour or now the Corn Ferry tour as it's called.
Yeah.
I'm not going to do that, but and go through that whole thing again. But the old Q school, I was successful 4 or 5 times to go through, where you're top 25 out of 3,500 or 4,500 golfers go through. And the last 4 times I've tried, I've passed it 3 times. So definitely the old system for me. I think the new system is not good. It just it doesn't help America to bring out new superstars early.
Oh no, that's it's something that's talked about a lot. Maybe in the 19th hole or between golfers. So to hear your feedback from that is pretty cool. Oh, that's awesome. So the next thing I guess we'll get into, we'll go back. Now we're back to on tour. We had success. We're getting on to the European Tour, which I believe was your main tour that you played on the European Tour. I know PGA Tour as well. I remember watching. But, I remember you on the European Tour. So, what were some of like maybe some of your best moments out on tour that you remember, and maybe we can go through some of those.
Yes. First of all, the relief of going through Q school in 1993. I finished 15th, and at that year they took 40 players, new players, and I finished 15th. Huge relief, get on the tour, and in the first tournament that I play in Madeira Island Open, I finished tied second. I almost made my card in the first event, so that was a great start. I progressed. I played okay, decent the whole year, kept my card easily, and in year 2, I won the Canon European Swiss Masters, which gave me a 5-year exemption on tour. And 5 years in golf is a long, long time, especially when you're trying to keep your card and everything like that. So that was the 2 highlights early, or 3 highlights early on in my career.
Right. So we went over like Q school, like getting on tour and the big changes. I know. For example, I know in our audience and Mike's audience, there are like a handful of aspiring like professional golfers. What would be some of the advice? Obviously you as a seasoned professional. What do you think would be some advice to them to kind of get their game to the next level, or if they're thinking about taking that step towards being a pro?
I would heavily recommend using a putting coach and a short game coach, hopefully in the same person, to kind of keep yourself on track and keep your passion for practicing and working on that. And that's basically what you need to work on. It's the short game, and putting. And if you do that well, you can score and you can play on tour. There's obviously some more things to it, but most players, we can all hit 14 greens when we play well out of 18. And when we're not playing so good, we probably don't hit much less than 9.
Yeah. And for those of you watching, like myself, like a recreational golfer, like I'm between 8 and 9 handicap, So same thing. Like the better you get in the game, you'll notice like that short game and putting is so crucial. I remember watching this interview with Gary Player, and he was talking to like a group of people in a clinic, and he was saying. I think he was talking like something maybe let's just say, for example, like a 12 or 15 handicap, for example, right? Like an average golfer. And he was saying, hey, like if we start the hole and you let me hit you let me like chip and putt, and we'll play for 18 holes. If we reverse it, the score is going to be much different, So it shows with the power of the short game. If if the higher handicapper hits a tee shot and then Gary Player takes over, it becomes like a 4 handicap. He was saying, like that was the idea, I was like, yeah, I mean, it's the power of the short game. So I definitely agree with that as well. So I guess I'll ask you, you've probably played in so many, pro-ams and seen so many different swings from other golfers. And I know it's hard, obviously, to give, just like general advice without seeing like that big player. I do understand that. And Mike will probably understand it too. But like, what are some common things that you see amateurs do, and you're like, man, I wish they knew this. Maybe you could share that with us now. Maybe some tips for the average golfer.
Well, the huge thing is to monitor your mental game, and that's with that is to have nothing negative come into your mind, that you speak to yourself loud or internal. To keep your mental game really, really sharp, even as an amateur, is really important to do, and even more so as a professional. So the mental game is one. Also, another one which is completely different, and I hope the listeners can kind of follow me. Golf is a game of opposites. If you're struggling and you're slicing the ball too much left to right curve in the ball, and your natural inclination is to then open up and aim more left. The problem is that's not going to solve your problem. you need to actually aim a little bit more right and really release the club head and hit a little bit of a driving draw. And everything in golf is opposite, the way I speak. If you want to hit it high, you need to be aggressive and hit down on the ball to get it up in the air.
Yeah.
And that's what I see amateurs struggle with. They're trying to lift the ball and hit up on it. The problem is they're going to keep on topping it off the tee. So that's a couple of suggestions anyway.
No, that is.
And by the way, I played over 300 Pro-Am, so I know what I'm talking about. I heard Mike Wan from the LPGA Tour commissioner. He said something about, like, if you're playing in a Pro-Am, don't worry. It doesn't matter how well you hit it or how bad you hit it. Your pro won't remember in the evening. I thought that was pretty good.
I love that. I love that. Oh my God, it's so funny. But yeah, it's that's very, very like true advice. So so if you guys don't know, like Mike is my teacher, right? So just learning like his philosophy and everything that he's taught me about the game, like you really have to learn that, you know. It's like, you know, for example, like, you know, just from my experience, let's say you're trying to teach somebody new the game, what's one of the first things they try and do? Like they're trying to use all their arms, and we all know what happens then when you turn over into that sledge, right? So it's really like just learning that, you know, golf is a completely different game, and learning how the swing works, the laws of ball flight, and that's a lot of things that Mike goes over to. So yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's some really sound advice for people starting off. So I guess we got two more questions here to wrap things up. So, well, one is it's just a pretty straightforward one. Today, what is your main focus up to today? Where are you at as far as your career today, and what kind of drive and motivates you today to continue your career and success?
Well, luckily, I do love golf. I've been fortunate for the last 6 years. I worked as a Dow Golf ambassador, where I take care and entertain their customers at golf events and things like that, and golf trips. And it's all about, that's what I mainly do right now. The last 4 years, I've been semi-retired. I've played 3 events or 5 events on the European Tour. Next year, it's very exciting. I turned 50 in March. So that's going to be really, really interesting, and I'm looking forward to it. I'm going to play full-time on the European Tour Senior Tour.
Nice.
But I'm also going to go through Q School for Champions Tour this fall, and there see if I can get on the Champions Tour. And that would be my preferred choice of tour to play on. But if I don't do it, the Senior Tour in Europe will be really, really fun. It's 19 events all around the world. So I'm looking forward to that.
Nice. Awesome. Yeah, I'm in Florida right now. So if you end up on the Champions Tour, let me know when the Champions Tour comes to Florida. I'll come see you.
That sounds good.
Yeah. Awesome. And then I guess my final question here, when I'm like just talking to, you know, any golfer or doing the golf interviews, I'll just throw a little fun one at you. I guess my first, before we get into that, my first question would be, who impacted you the most in your golf career? Maybe it was a friend or a family member or was a mentor. You know, who's someone that you can really like put on your side throughout your journey?
I can just mention, I don't just want to lift up one person, but I've had many people help me in my career. I'm obviously everything from, say, golf trainer or golf teachers like Butch Harmon to Bob Rotella on my mental game, but that are more well-known, but also lesser well-known. But I had a really cool guy when I was turned pro, and I had him as my coach, more like a life coach. He actually was one of these special super policemen in a regular job, and in tactical economical crimes in Sweden. And he was on the operative side, so he was a tough guy. And he got on me, and we worked a lot about decisions in how you pick golf tournaments to go and travel to, not to just think. I'm a very emotional guy, kind of think with my heart too much sometimes. Like, yeah, I want to play. And suddenly you played 11 events in a row. And instead, he taught me, hey, Mathias, you got to think a little bit too, and maybe play 4 events, take a week off, play 3 events, take a week off, and then play 4, and kind of keep the fire alive by doing it that way. And he was great, and his name was Joachim Söderström. And the funny thing is, I just called him like about 3 months ago and say, hey, listen, are you willing to be my coach again? I'm going on a Champions Tour or Senior Tour. So he's going to do that.
Cool.
Then another one that I must mention is Phil Ritson. He was my golf coach on my technical side for about 5 years while I was on the PGA Tour. And he helped me tremendously. Another one that just pops up also, Wayne Worms, that helped me take myself from the European Tour to win the Q School over here, which I was fortunate to do, and get on the PGA Tour in 2004. So
Nice.
a little bit long answer, but
no, that's good. No, I mean, yeah, and that's the thing. It's like those behind the scenes people, like, you know, like for me, for example, like as an entrepreneur, like I have my own business. There's always going to be mentors along the way in anything that you succeed at. You know, whether it's golfing professionally, I think about it as a business. Essentially, what it is. You have your team around you. You know, it's the same thing. So that was pretty cool.
I gotta just jump in there and say, I recommend everybody to follow this guy that I follow online. His name is Robin Sharma, Sharma. Robin Sharma. He has loads of free information, and he's great with the mental game for life. And he talks about a lot about this called the 5 a.m. club, and that's to get up early and spend 20 minutes of physical exercise, 20 minutes on reflection, and 20 minutes on education. And you start your day like that without any of these bad stuff disturb you. You start like that, and then you're kind of king of the day after that.
Yes. I know we're going a little off topic here, but it's good. This is what people want to learn more about, like your habits and stuff. Same with me here. So, like I usually start my day like my Monday through Friday with my business, usually like 5 a.m. First thing I do is go to the gym, start that way, come back. I don't even look at my phone. And as a digital marketer, like phone and computer is everything for me, right? So, I have it set where I don't look at my phone or computer until usually at 8, 9 o'clock. So those first few hours, I'm just in my personal zone. Then I'll get into my business zone, right? So I couldn't agree more on that. And my fun question was to finish things off was who would be your dream foursome to play around with? It could be any time in history. So you're obviously one. So who would be the other 3 you play with?
Oh wow! Jack Nicklaus would be one of them. I've had the pleasure of playing 9 holes with him, and he's such a gentleman. I spent a lot of time with him down in Florida at the fair. I was a member for many years. You know what? I'll put Gary Player in there too. He's been so nice and kind of over the years to me. He's given me lessons similar to Jack. They've both given me lessons on my golf swing. And then, you know what? I would probably stick someone completely off random, Albert Einstein, in there, just to talk and listen to someone who's smart the other way, kind of. So it's a little bit different threesome or foursome there.
Hey, that's definitely an interesting foursome from all around the world. You know, we got USA, South Africa, Sweden. Albert Einstein, I believe he's from USA, correct? I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. So that would be pretty cool, man. Awesome. Well, hey, I really want to thank you for coming on today. I know I had a blast. I know our audience is really going to enjoy going through this interview. Next step now is you'll see it right live on Facebook inside the group. And thanks so much for coming on today.
I'll just do this because I love golf. I love helping people. If there's anyone that is listening that have a question, I'm very easy to look up. Mathias with TH Gronberg at AOL.com. That's my email. I'm easy to reach. I can answer. I answer pretty much everything that I get in about golf questions. It is my passion. I love doing it. It reinforces myself and my conviction in what I need to do in my golf. So anyway, that's how you reach me. And thank you very much, Evan.
Perfect. Perfect. Yeah. No, thank you as well. And that's a huge gift to our audience. I know we all appreciate it. And guys, we'll see you next time. Take care.